I'm James Daniels and I'm lead carpenter. This is the custom workbench I made for myself.
What makes this workbench different from anything you could have bought?
So the workbench is very much tailored to the way I work, and that JRDF is very varied work.
What was the moment you decided you had to build your own bench?
Not long after I was started working with John and Kelly, I found that I was getting pain in my shoulder. And it was because the benches were too high. And that's what it all started with, really, was I needed a lower bench. And then that developed into how can I make the perfect bench?
When designing your perfect bench, what were some of the non-negotiables, the must-haves for you?
Bench vices for holding the work down or up or whatever I need it to do, the right height, and storage.
Was the design for the desk sketched out, or was it mainly just in your head?
It's completely in my head. I've worked at many different types of workbench in my career. This is the culmination of all of those benches, taking all the best bits and putting it together to make one really good bench.
If you were to start this bench over again and rebuild it, what would you change?
Good question. Probably a better working height for the keyboard and mouse, because that was an addition after I built it. And although I've retrofitted a pull-out drawer for them, it's a bit low.
How long did the build take to complete, from idea to finish?
Probably about 2 days, maybe 2.5. It's had a couple of additional bits afterwards.
Walk me through the build. Where did you start? How did the process go?
So the design's basically in my head. From that, I then made a very quick written cutting list. So then across to the saw to cut the material and then start to put that together. There was a few design changes along the way. Some because we were trying to use up offcuts of material. So I changed the design to make all of that work with the materials that we had available. But yeah, basically once the stuff is cut, it was screw it all together, put it together, joint it together, whatever needed to be done.
What was the trickiest part of the build?
There wasn't anything particularly tricky. Possibly getting the heights right for the bench vices took a little bit of thought. There's some additional bits that are, so the well has a pull-out top, so they needed a little bit of thinking about how I could make them store neatly away when I'm not using them. But yeah, there wasn't anything especially tricky.
What materials did you use and why?
So it's predominantly birch ply. We keep that in stock, which is one of the reasons. But actually, it's a really good material for making something like this. It's very sturdy. It wears well. It's very stable. So actually, we keep it in stock for a reason, and the reason is it's a very good material for doing this kind of work.
You touched on it a bit. What parts of the bench are reused or scrap materials?
Yeah, a lot. So the bench vices were actually mounted to one of the original benches. They weren't quite mounted in the right position, so they never really worked properly. They didn't quite grip because they were mounted too low. So they're from a previous project. All the drawer runners, knobs and stuff for the drawers and hinges all came out of stuff that I'd taken off previous jobs that had been either recycled or upcycled. The caster wheels came from a previous job as well. So there's lots of elements on this that are reused from items we had in the workshop.
What's your favourite feature on the bench?
Ooh, all of them. That's a really hard question because it depends what I'm working on. So depending on the job, any one feature can be my favourite feature at any time. I love I'm a big fan of a work vice. I love the fact that my end vice also doubles up to hold pieces down. So that is often really helpful because I grip stuff in here. So that's that held nice and firm. So there's loads of bits to it that I really like.
Does working on a bench you built for yourself change how you feel about the work you do on it?
It's actually been really important to me. I like to be as efficient as possible. This bench makes me that. All my tools are within easy reach and laid out. I feel like I'm more productive with this bench.
What would you say to another carpenter or maker thinking about building their own?
A bench is very much an individual thing to the maker and what you predominantly want to make. Something that you develop in time as you grow and your needs change, so will your bench. So I think starting out with or trying to make the perfect bench from scratch is never going to happen, because as you go along, you always think about something you want to add, change, improve. So don't set out trying to make the perfect bench. Set out with your needs at the time and let it grow and evolve.